Good morning, Bezrat Hashem. We're here in Yeshivat Shalom Bayit, Hollywood, Griffin Road, and West and Southwest 35th Avenue corner. You're always welcome to come here. Ladies, send your husbands to Yeshiva if you want real Shalom Bayit, Bezrat Hashem. We're continuing in the Halacha series. We are on Siman Lamed Bet, 32nd Siman, page Member, right? In Mishnah Berurah. So now, Dalet, Si'if Dalet. We're there? No, Si'if Dalet. Yeah. No. Oh, not second. You have to go back. Gotta head two pages. One more page. One more page. So somebody took out the tissue for you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Tzarich shelo tidbak shum od b'haverta. You have to be very careful. We're continuing writing the Tehillim. So you have to be sure that not one letter touches even cultural, anything to its friend. Ela kol ot tiyeh mukefet gvil. Each letter should be like surrounded by its own. It should be to its edge fully, and make sure nothing spills over to the next letter. As we see right from here, already see that since you are filling up with the dio, with the ink. Thank you for Reb Chaim for bringing the sample for us. You saw it, yeah. Mm-hmm. That beautiful thing. So now what you do is you try to raise the ink. While you're raising the ink, obviously it's become heavier. So maybe shaking. That's why the cloth. All right, no, the cloth has to be connected very tight, and the table has to be very sturdy. Because if not, if you're a little bit shaking, you could have the ink spilling and touching something else and dry it like that, which will be haram because you toiled so much to write, and it's going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
Haga. No, I mean, obviously it depends. Not everything. I shouldn't say destroy everything. It depends. If Hashem's name, you have no, even Hashem's name, because you're not erasing Hashem's name, you're just erasing the attachment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that again, it's extra work, and Bezrat Hashem, no so fair nowadays, you shouldn't ever have this problem anymore. Bezrat Hashem. V'yichtov ketiva tama, says Haga, that you should write make it very diligently. Shelo yichsar afilu kotzo shel yud. You have to be very careful not to miss even a little crown of a yud. The crowns are to be very, very careful to be placed on every letter. So the rabbi says that you have to make it gasa, meaning heavy. Make the heavy letters. That's what we're talking about. Thick letters that are erased, because you don't want to get it erased too fast. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, since you're rolling it and constantly, it's rolled right inside, and it's rubbing against the cloth. So if you don't want to have that problem, make sure the letters are thick and firm. Hey, tzarich sheyichtov bimino afilu im hu sholet b'shtei yadav. This is the problem that we already told before. That a person, when he sees his boys, I don't care about the girls much. If boys are playing with the left hand, let's say they're concentrating on throwing ball with the left hand or starting to write with the left hand, you have a problem. So what do? You work on them and you play with them. Make sure to flip their side and let them do everything with the right hand. Why? Because even if a person is capable of performing a job with the left and the right hand, he should still write the Sefer Torah with the right hand. Okay, it's all kimat impossible, very difficult to write with the left hand for a sofer. Okay, now what is obviously he's writing from the left hand. If he's writing from right to left, it's very hard. Yeah. But if you are writing this way from right to the left, you're actually holding the kulmos in a certain manner that it would make it easier for you to write letters. Now, if a lefty says no, I could write with my left hand, and there are some sofrim that are lefty, there's a problem with them. According to Kabbalah, there's going to be a problem. Why? Because the kulmos has to be tilted in a certain way. You know, over there, there's a lot of things that this is talking about spiritual. We're talking about spiritual aspect of the Torah, Sefer Torah, Mezuzah, Tefillin, all those things. It has to be follow the right order, which was the Masorah. And just because you are capable to write with your left hand, you're having a lot of problems. It's not the Mesorah, that's not the way to do it. V'im katav b'smol pesulim. Here the rabbi says, so much more, that if you're even a professional, you know, yeah. If you wrote left hand, let's see one second. I'm not going to jump ahead. It says pasul. אם אפשר למצוא אחרים כתובים בימין, it's better to use. No, it's pasulim only when it's you could find other people. Let's say you live in a town that's only sofer is a lefty, right? Until you find a righty, you could use his writing.
Gonna be kosher.
For now, for that period.
Okay.
Only for that period. But once you find a righty, right, you must change all the tefillin and everything. Okay? Ve'iter yad, small didei have yamin. Okay? No, the rabbi says no. He says the only problem is the only time is the problem when the person could write with right and left, and he chose to write left. On him, it's important that you should find somebody who writes with one right hand. But as somebody who is a lefty, it's a general rule according to Maran. The lefty could write with his Sefer Torah because that's his right hand. But not according to Kola. Kabbalim would not be happy with that. According to Maran, it's not a problem. If you find a sofer who knows how to write so diligently, how he does it, it's mind-boggling. Because don't forget, everything, the ktiva of Ashurit, everything is tilted to the right. If you take a look, let's say bet, you're writing a yud, right? So yud is not a problem. Let's say a bet. Bet is this way. Then what do you do with the bet at the bottom? You go this way and then a little bit this way, right? So how does a lefty going backwards? Now, also where you start to write the letter is important.
Yeah.
You can't start, backwards. It's a big problem, very serious problem. So again, wherever, if there's a professional guy, so if you have this professional guy who comes and he knows how to write properly, start from the right places. In that case, again, according to Maran, it's not a problem. Vav. אין לסרטט כי אם שיטה עליונה, ואם אינו יודע לאשר השיטה בלא שרטוט. So what is sirtut? Sirtut is what? Scraping, right? It's making lines, right? So he's making a line. You see that all the
line to go straight.
Yeah. There's lines on all the tefillin, mezuzot.
It comes already with the line.
What? But they buy it?
When you buy it, it comes with lines.
I think they'll do it.
No.
Like a machine, a heavy machine?
A machine does the lines for you.
Oh yeah? I didn't know that.
We get it ready today. It's not like years ago.
Oh yeah? I don't remember they used to do it. Okay.
I know, my friend writes so I saw it.
Okay, good.
That's the sofer he gave me.
Okay, so he says, אין לסרטט כי אם שיטה עליונה. Whatever that means, there's the upper levels, the lower levels. You must do only the lower level. ואם אינו יודע לאשר השיטה, בלא שרטוט, יסרטט כל השורות ולא יסרטט בעופרת מפני שהמקום, השרטוט נשאר צבוע. I guess, no, סרטה is something else. מה זה סרטה? Let's see, סרטה here. Let's see, אין צריך לסרטט, כי אם שיטה עליונה. All right, I'm lost over here because I thought this is a hot feeling. I'm not a sofer, so even though my last name is sofer, I get confused. A lot of people think I'm a sofer. משון תפילין, אין עליה הלכה למשה מסיני, לסרטט כמו מזוזה. So he says, the mezuzah needs lines, tefillin is not obligated. Right? משום דאסור לכתוב גימות תיבות בפסוק בלי שרטוט.
And these are the lines, the practice lines that that they use to make sure that they're writing straight.
I guess so, yeah. כן, כשמסרטים שיטה עליונה, די, כי סתם בני האדם יודעים לאמן ידם לכתוב כל השיטות ישרות, השיטות אחר כשכתוב שיטה עליונה. So I guess they follow, they make on top, right? So that means the letters are written below the line. Not above the line, below the line. So that's how it's supposed to be prepared. Okay, anyway, but the tefillin, he says, that was not a common thing. Right? Only the mezuzot. But the Torah is almost has lines all over the place. Right? Okay. השרטוט נשאר צבוע, אוקיי. ויש אומרים שצריך לסרטט תמיד למעלה ולמטה ומן הצדדים, אף על פי שיודע לכתוב בלא שרטוט. Okay, so according to Hagar, he said, no, you have to have all the lines and keep your letters in one line in line straight. וכן נוהגים, that's the minhag. Okay. זין. הלכה למשה מסיני תפילין על הכלב ולא על הדוכסוסטוס.
What's that?
It has to be on a cloth, I guess, and not anything else. Whatever that duch is. ולא על הגביל or anything else, כותבים על הכלב במקום בשר. So, so which part of the cloth is very important? Where the meat is. Not the outer layer, the inner layer. You hear? You have a cloth, right? So you have the skin, right? We take a cow's skin. You have to make sure you write it on the part of the meat and not the part of the skin outside, the outer part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what other things are? I don't care. I mean, we're not in the inyan over here, but this you should not whatever this is called aduchsostos. Never know what it is. There's not even explanation here. Sometimes they give you.
Rashi will explain.
There's no Rashi's here. ולא על הגביל. מה זה הגביל? לא על הגביל. Okay, I don't know. Right, not so important for us. We're not starting to write tefillin now, but okay. As long as we know, there has to be cloth. ואם שינה פסול. Oh, what happens if you wrote on the other side of the skin? פסול. מהו כלב ומהו דוכסטו? Our question.
It's much smoother, the side of the basar.
No, the other way is much smoother.
Smoother.
I think the skin is maybe much smoother, no?
But I would think the inside where the meat was more flatter, where you can write.
Yeah?
I think the furry, how can you write in the fur? It's very hard to write in the fur.
Well, yeah, there's no fur.
Or the outer part where the.
What is this? What's that?
The cow?
Bed, you know.
That's.
Yeah, they send it to the machine and
Wash it.
comes.
Cleaned up.
They clean it up and make it
Yeah,
nice and
yeah,
flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the cow is black originally,
Right.
and the cloth is somehow bleached.
Bleached.
They
white.
bleach it. Okay. So now your question, Rakai. Ma'u klav or ma'u duchsostos? So he says duchsostos is haor bishat ibudo cholkin eto l'shnayim. Okay. When they work it, they make the skin of the time of work. They split it into two. וחלק החיצון שהוא לצד השיער נקרא קלף. Okay? So what the part that is in the outer part, which is towards the hair, that's called the clef. והפנימי הדבוק לבשר נקרא דוכסוסטוס. That's the part. There's two layers. So the layer that is the inside layer, that is the problem. And that you're not allowed to write.
You're not allowed to write in
Right.
the inside layer?
The
It's on
inside layer.
Okay.
There's two layers of skin. One skin layer that's the outside that has the hair.
Yeah.
So the inside of that is what you write on. But there is another layer, and it's called duchsostos. I guess it's a thick layer that you could write on it. But mistama, it's very thick. Mistama is going to be too thick to use it for Sefer Torah. ולפי זה, כי אמרינן כותבין על הכלב במקום בשר, היינו במקום היותר קרוב לבשר. Meaning, you see that the cloth that's outside, outer part, where the hair is, so the one that's facing the the meat of the cow, on that side you write. היינו במקום החיבורו, כשהוא דבוק לדוכסוסטוס. The one, that part that is actually tapped into that skin layer, the inner layer of skin, that is called duchsostos. Okay. וכלפים שלנו שאין חולקין אותם, יש להם דין קלף. However, it says, in our days, in already the time of Maran, Shulchan Aruch 500 years ago, they did not separate between those two layers. And therefore, they all have a din of klaf. And because, I guess, it's stronger maybe? Maybe the inner part is too weak, I don't know. The kotvin alehem letzad basar, and whatever we have, you would write on the inside part that's facing the meat. Shema, שמגררים קליפתו העליונה, שבמקום שר אינו אלא כדי מה שצריך לתקנו ולהחליקו. So all that they I guess make it smooth and softer, that takes away some layer, some part of the layer, right? Shema שמגררים klipato, as they take away the klipa, the shell, the shell. That's the skin. There's a shell. I guess that's holding the hair. Right? So שבמקום שיער אינו אלא כדי מה שצריך לתקנו ולהחליקו. This is to make the cloth more usable, to make it more smoother. ואפילו אם היו חולקים העול לשניים, היה צריך לגרר ממנו כך במצד הבשר, גוררים הרבה עד שאין נשאר אלא הכלב בלבד. So you have to be smoothing and chiseling away as much as possible that שנשאר אלא הכלב. It has to remain only the cloth and take away the meats, all the skin, everything that's connected there. There's a lot of work involved in that. But it has to, until you have cloth that is Baruch Hashem we use. חטא, צריך הכלב להיות מעובד באפצים או בסיד. צריך שיהיה מעובד לשמו. Oh, so now we're already starting. Now we're talking about that you have to have kavanah. You have to have kavanah when you start smoothing, working on the cloth, that your intention, your whole sole intention is that this should be used for davar shebekdusha, or tefillin, mezuzot, or sefer Torah. Now, it's okay. טוב להוציא בשפתיו בתחילת העיבוד שהוא מעבדו לשם תפילין, לשם ספר תורה, אבל עבדו לשם מזוזות פסול. Okay, so that's why I was very careful. You see that according to Maran, that in the olden days it was not common what we have today, Baruch Hashem. Today we have plenty. We're the richest people. That's one of the biggest complaints that I have, and I say that's the most despicable act. We declare a wedding 6 months from now, 5 months from now, 7 months from now. It is the most evil thing to do. Every wedding should be done within a week. Once they decided to get married, to avoid any problems, any disaster, you make a wedding right away. What is this business? We need to prepare money. We need to raise money. It has to be very nice. Do me a favor. We're all rich. You can make everybody birthdays. People make parties in wedding halls on birthdays.
You can do it in your yard, in the backyard.
No, that's not more respectful. Let's say somebody's going to say, hey, Rabbi Sofer, we need 2-3 months to make it respectful. It's not true. It is not true. Fakeness. No, I save. If I rush, the Lamdisha, if I rush it, it's going to cost me $5,000 more. Who told you? Where this comes from, this nonsense? Kadosh Baruch Hu is looking at all this. What are you guys doing? What is this nonsense? Oh, but the Gemara time they gave 12 months. They were poor. The Gemara time, what are you talking about? They were poor. Today, who is poor? People drinking $150 bottle of wines on Shabbos. Who is poor? What kind of nonsense is this? We have to raise money. Because we all love luxury, we all love kavod, and we all are afraid of stigma. What people say, they're rushing, something's wrong. Yeah? All the wrong hashbonot. But you have to be very careful. Everybody's Baruch Hashem wealthy, and do it properly. Everything should be done properly. My question over here was, if you noted that I said that according to Maran, it's mashma that today would be different probably. He said that when they were preparing the cloth was specifically done for that purpose. What are you preparing a cloth for? I'm making mezuzah. What are you preparing a cloth for? Tefillin. What are you making a cloth for? Sefer Torah. So each one. But I said earlier, if you noticed before we read this, I said Mistama, the one who's making the ibud on the ore, would say for davar shebekdusha.
Yes, to say.
Davar shebekdusha, but Maran is saying no. If he has to know exactly which part he's making, or tefillin, but I think I heard that they don't make that anymore. That's all the Shem Kedusha, the davar shebekdusha, everything like that. Because don't forget, we're Baruch Hashem very wealthy communities. Yeah. We have mezuzot, tefillin. It's a shot. People don't wear tefillins because there's not enough money, but the sofer somehow, or the dealer has 25 pairs in order to sell. And then we have a problem, why people are not wearing tefillin, because all of a sudden, the tefillin is $1,000, people can't afford it. Those who could afford it, but how about those who are playing, the sellers will say, this guy is affording a birthday party for $2,000-$3,000, and they cannot afford the tefillin. So everybody, now it's a catch-22. Everybody's blaming the other side. Why they're not every Jew wearing tefillin? We should only know the good things. That Halacha. What happens if the goy prepared the cloth? Rambam pasul. Rambam said not allowed. Even though a Jew was standing on top of the goy and told him to do it with the honor of the holy articles, still not good. According to Rosh, however, that it's Ashkenazim says no problem. As long as the Jew stood there, told the goy what to do, no problem. Okay? So according to Haggai, says no, he has to help. As the Rosh says, you have to help. The Jew has to help the goy, not just stand there. Again, and this is our custom. Siman Yud Aleph. You could look later, earlier, as we said over there, in Saif bed. So we're going to end over here. Bezat Hashem. Tomorrow we'll continue in Siman Lamed Bet, Halacha Yud. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Let's thank all those that are helping us to learn Torah.